Thank you for allowing me to speak on Aadhaar. It is something that has been disturbing not only me as a member in this House, but many citizens that I have come across. The government keeps repeating, and as all of us are aware, the best example that can be given of the 20th century was of Goebbels, who said that a lie oft repeated sounds like the truth. The claim that out of 130 crores, so many 100 plus crores have enrolled for Aadhaar is a debatable point because it is government data. Neither you nor I have access to that. But the claim that Aadhaar is an identity is very clear to us. We do not know whether 123 crore people have already enrolled for Aadhaar or not. I have my doubts because in my state, in even the BJP-ruled Jharkhand, we regularly come across news items where people are dying. People are inconvenienced because the lowest of the low government officer, the bank employee, they are still insisting on Aadhaar. Even in universities, in colleges, law colleges across the country, whether you take Bhubaneswar, whether you take Pune, whether you take places in Uttar Pradesh, to admit the children, they are insisting on Aadhaar, and if you do not have Aadhaar, they are not allowing admission. But on the other hand, to claim that Aadhaar is an identity is, in my opinion, a very wrong notion being fed to the country. It is simply a tool for authentication. It is not an identity. It is not equivalent to your passport. It does not tell anybody else that you are an Indian citizen, or you are a non-Indian, or you are an Oriya, or an Ahamya, or an Andhra person. It doesn't give you any identity. So that is a misconception that is waylaying the House. Again, by repeating that we have saved 90,000 crores through Aadhaar is again a very, very debatable point because none of us are aware actually how much has been saved due to this authentication process. Because as far as I know, things seem to have improved because the public, the people today in India have become conscious. It has nothing to do with any political party. People have become conscious, people are aware, people are able to recognize when a middleman is cheating them. And let me, sir, you will be somebody who will understand this very well, although you're not putting on your headphones, so I don't know if you're able to listen to me. But sir, we have seen reasons in the, let us say for example, the farm sector. You know that the middleman is essential even today in the farmlands of India across the country. The reason being, whether it is the block officer, whether it is FCI officials, whether it is any state or central government officials, they are not capable of opening mandis in every panchayat. They are not having the requisite storage facilities. We are not modernizing our storage facilities to temporary silos, by which over these years we have inconvenienced the farmer and forced the farmer to depend on the middleman. So to condemn the bicholia, the middleman, in every form, I sometimes sit and wonder, is the middleman a Pakistani or a Chinese? Isn't he part of the Indian economy? Isn't he also voting for a certain party? So he is a voter, he is a citizen, and he has a right to earn also. And what does he do in farming? A middleman in a farm, a middleman who deals with the farm, what does he do to the farmer when the government agencies are not available, when there are no banks in 20-30 kilometer radius? It is only the middleman who goes and gives an advance to the farmer that you are going to start tilling the land, you are going to start sowing, here is 2,000 rupees, you take this. And you start your work. When the farmer finally harvests the crop. It is obviously this middleman who has the first priority, who might be giving a lower price than the MSP. Yes, we admit there is crookedness functioning there, but then he's the one who's taking the risk also. If the crop fails, it is the middleman who is suffering. The farmer just raises his hands and says, I cannot help. So let us also understand that there is a difference between cheats, thugs, and a genuine middleman who is an economic operative at every level of Indian society. You cannot wish him away. You cannot call the middleman to be an alien who is to be detested, abhorred, and should be killed. That is not what I agree to. As far as directions on Aadhaar, which the Honorable Minister mentioned, it is good. We are talking about directions on Aadhaar, but everything is being left on the bureaucracy. This is something I have been repeating here in this house. Why are you leaving everything on the bureaucracy? Are you not competent yourself? This particular minister is a very highly educated, qualified lawyer. He probably knows much more than any of his babu in his multiple ministries, those who draft the bills. He definitely knows more. Why? In his right senses, and he's been an opposition leader. I've had the privilege of chairing a committee when he was in the opposition. And I always used to think that when a person like him comes to power, he will actually bring about qualitative change in governance. He will bring in right senses to others who also share power, some have come from bureaucracy, suddenly have popped up through the Rajya Sabha, some have come through something else from the legal profession. But here is a man who has had ample, and this is not flattering you, sir. Please understand, this is something I feel. I have always been, 4 terms in Lok Sabha, I am seeing there is no qualitative change. You have been here so much longer. You also see that. You also must be, probably because you belong to a particular party, you cannot say it publicly. But you must be at home, in the privacy of your home, you must be getting exasperated. Ki ye, like you speak in Hindi, ye kya ho raha hai? Hindustan ka kya ho raha hai? Where are we taking this country? So leaving everything on regulations means leaving everything on the bureaucrats. Sir, I would like to bring to your attention a few points. You know, Central Identities Data Repository has biometric and demographic data of every person enrolled with UIDAI. In what questions can be raised of propriety and conflict of interest, executives who have worked or are working with the Unique Identification Authority of India, the parent agency for Aadhaar, are launching companies or funding startups that offer Aadhaar-based services. So forget the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, I was saddened to see the Supreme Court puts up a businessman who was representing a big company from Bangalore, was located somewhere in Silicon Valley in California. He is not a technocrat. He's just a simple salesperson. He could have been, if he was not successful and didn't have thousands of crores in his bank account and got a Congress ticket, he would have been probably selling soaps and washing machines or something like that. So it's a simple salesman. And the Supreme Court thinks that he's a technocrat. The Supreme Court puts him up in committees where he is supposed to decide on the fate of citizens of this country. Now the Supreme Court, how is it misled? The Supreme Court is misled because the government gives him so much importance. And this has nothing to do with BJP. It is the Congress which started the evil. They only emboldened the evil. So this parent agency for Aadhaar, they are launching companies or funding startups that offer Aadhaar-based services and products for a fee. Consider the case of a person with initials VR who was Chief Product Manager of UIDAI, which he served as a volunteer between October 2010 and June 2013. Another person, SN, was UIDAI's Head of Technology from 2009 to 12. SJ was Chief Product Manager at UIDAI between 2010 and 2012. All three founded Khosla Labs in September 2012 in India. Now this Khosla Labs is another company which is very interesting. It is owned by a company based in Mauritius which owns 99% of Khosla Labs India. This Khosla Labs India is owned by Khosla Labs Mauritius. Who are the owners? There is no clarity about that. And when we are talking about the I don't know where it has gone. When we are talking about UIDAI and Aadhaar, it's very interesting. We are talking about, I'm only mentioning the new sections that have been changed, supposedly on the advice of the Supreme Court. Aadhaar ecosystem includes enrolling agencies, registrars, requesting entities, offline verification seeking entities, and any other entity or group of entities as may be specified by regulations. Again, regulations. This is AA. The adjudicating officer and all that part I do not wish to get into. It will become very long. But what is this Aadhaar ecosystem? Aadhaar ecosystem primarily consists, as can be seen in this bill, of two streams of thought. One is those who are using Aadhaar, and two are those who are collecting and tabulating and keeping hold on the Aadhaar data. But those two streams are finally joining as a river or a rivulet. And what is happening? You have these people who are collecting Aadhaar data, who are tabulating them, and they are the same people who are now insisting on Aadhaar, because the more Aadhaar spreads, the more business options they have. So here I wish to highlight, I wish to bring to the government's notice that is this government voted by millions of Indians, is it aimed only at encouraging the business people of certain what some people call the Bangalore Mafia, or we call it Bengaluru Mafia now? Is it only intended to help them, or is it intended to create an atmosphere where the average citizen can feel that my government is not imposing on me, my government is not denying me my basic rights, my government is not stopping my food because I do not have Aadhaar? It is very good to sit here in this air-conditioned parliament. While it is cold out in Delhi, we are in the warmth. But it is very difficult to imagine the situation of a poor farmer, of a poor lady, a widow in a village in Jharkhand, a village in Maharashtra, in Orissa, or in Mizoram, who has nobody to back her. Her children have disowned her. Her family does not exist. And what does she have to do? She has to produce her Aadhaar to even get into a hospital. There are cases in Bengal. There have been instances in Uttar Pradesh, in Bihar, where women, pregnant women, have been denied basic medical facilities to give birth to a child because they did not have Aadhaar. Sir, there are not many speakers. I need another couple of minutes. I will not take too long.
इसको पास भी करना है ना?
सर, यही तो प्रॉब्लम है इस देश में. हमको कहा जाता है कि डिबेट, डिस्कस, डिसाइड. बट डिबेट डिस्कस करते हैं, डिसीजन तो बने बनाए बाबू ने लिख दिया है. We have nothing to do with this. We are just, you know, when I go to my constituency and I face my people and I think that, am I a joker? These people expect so much from me, and what am I doing? I am only saying eyes, eyes, or nose, nose. And even if I say no, the chair says ayes have it, no matter whether the number is large or small. Because it's a government bill, it will be passed. And because they are in a larger number, they are the government. So they are the government means they will pass everything. But I will only beseech upon the Honorable Minister, I will call upon his inner being, that does he have feelings for India? He has to think about this. He has to think. There is, in one of the insertion of new section 3A2, a child who is an Aadhaar number, you, sir, spoke only about parents' consent. But please read the next part. A child who is an Aadhaar number holder may, within a period of 6 months of attaining the 18 years of age, which is supposed to be major, make an application to the authority for cancellation of this Aadhaar number in such manner as may be specified by regulation, and the authority shall cancel his Aadhaar number. Sir, think of yourself. When you were 18, would you have even understood what is Aadhaar? Would you have even comprehended what is UIDAI? Would you have even understood what is demographic data? What is being collected from you? Where is the data kept? Is it kept in Bangalore? Is it kept in Texas? Who knows? And at the age of 18, you are supposed to get a time limit of 6 months. If once you cross 6 months, or once your processing takes longer than 6 months, you cannot get out of this evil clutch. And there are so many sections like that the government is completely turning a blind eye to. Since you are in a great hurry, I would only like to point out one more thing before I wind up. The authority may, for the discharge of its functions under this Act, or any rules or regulations made thereunder by order, issue such directions from time to any entity in the Aadhaar ecosystem as it may consider necessary. Sir, this authority is UIDAI. And in the ecosystem again means all private companies. And here is the proof I gave you, where Aadhaar UIDAI officials are double timing, not one, sir, multiple, even today. They are double timing, they are working for startups, they are encouraging startups, they are helping private companies. So what are we trying to do? We are on one hand giving them the authority to decide what to do. On the other hand, they are also getting the authority to decide how to work. So policy and implementation, you are making them cohabit in single individuals. Individuals who are working for government and double timing as private private people. So this is something, whether it is Khosla Labs, whether it is iSpirit or ICE system, I don't know, everything becomes I means intelligent, which I am not intelligent, I am a fool. So all these intelligent people with their eyes, small eyes, sir, that intelligence also is written with humility, that I am so humble, I get amazed looking at myself in the mirror every morning. It is like that only. People are like that. So this is the kind of country we are building, and I would only request the Honorable Minister that Aadhaar is an evil. Aadhaar is something that is going to harm this country. You have been an opposition leader. The day will very soon come. This is the democracy. The beauty of democracy is change. If not now, sometime later, once again you will be in the opposition. You will be fighting this government. And I hope you will have the good sense to understand that creating a menace like Aadhaar can only harm India. It will never help the poor and the deprived of this country to benefit from the government if you straitjacket them through a system called Aadhaar. Thank you, sir.
श्री शरद त्रिपाठी जी संक्षिप्त करेंगे।
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय। निश्चित ही माननीय मंत्री जी ने अभी जो कहा कि ये जो आधार बिल माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट के अनुसार फिर से कुछ इसमें प्रस्ताव लाए गए हैं, इसमें निजता और शुचिता दोनों का आधार है, और निजता और शुचिता के आधार पर जब इसका हम विश्लेषण करें तो जैसा कि माननीय मंत्री जी ने इसमें जो नया संशोधन किया 15 धारा 3(7) में,
पीछे बैठे
कि किसी बालक द्वारा अधिप्रमाणन द्वारा अपनी पहचान स्थापित करने में या आधार संख्या रखने का सबूत प्रस्तुत करने में असफलता के मामले में अथवा उस बालक के मामले में जिसे कोई आधार संख्या नहीं दी गई है नामांकन के लिए आवेदन प्रस्तुत करता है तो उसे किसी सब्सिडी फायदे या सेवा से इनकार नहीं किया जाएगा।